Good morning. Today we are doing our last objective for this unit, CO35. I can find a percent of change. So we're finishing up working with those percents, reminding ourselves that we will review tomorrow. Friday is a retake day. There's a lot of us who have retakes to do from that last test. I talked with everybody yesterday about maybe we should try to stay after school, right? So some of us might be staying after school today, some of us staying after tomorrow because we have a lot of retakes that we need to get done. We can get stuff done on Friday, but if we have too many to try to do Friday, we're staying after school to get things done so we can focus next week on the new test. So we want to get all the old retakes done so we can focus on that new test. Remember, Khan Academy is due tomorrow night. Packet number 5 is due next week, Tuesday. All right, so that percent of change. If I can make this a little bigger, that's really small. All right, so let's see what it says. Perhaps you've encountered one or more of the following situations. Let's say last year's 8th grade class had 60 students and this year's class has 54. What is the percent of increase from this last year to this year? Or maybe the total snowfall in winter of last year was 48 inches, and this year it's 32 inches. What is the percent of decrease from last year to this year? I don't think that's going to be the case this year because we have little snow last year. Or in 1998, a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew was 99 cents. In 2021, a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew is $1.89. What is the percent of increase in price? The original price of an 8 gigabyte iPhone in 2007 was $600. Today you can buy one on eBay for only $20. What is the percent of decrease in price? Okay, so we're looking at how things are going up or down. What is that percent of change? So to answer questions like the ones above, we use a special formula. So this is going to be something that we want on our help sheet. You're going to want the formula because we're going to use it. As our numerator, we're going to put the difference between the values. When we talk about difference, we're not going into negative numbers. You take the big number and you subtract the small number. Doesn't matter which number comes first in the problem. When you're finding a difference, you're just taking the big number minus the small number. No negatives. Then we divide that by the original value, that very first number, the original number. So let's see what that is going to look like. Looking at our students, we had 60 students last year and 54 students this year. So we need to find the difference. So what number do I subtract? What number? How should I write that, Liam? 60 minus 54. And then I divide it by the original. What is my original value? Adeline? 60. We started with 60 students. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do that subtraction. 60 minus 54 is 6. And then remember that fraction bar means we're dividing. 6 divided by 60. So you're going to want your calculators. Go ahead and take them out. What is 6 divided by 60? Bridget. It is not 10. 6, Bridget, listen to me. 6 divided by 60. You went the wrong way. So that's why we always write it out. We always take the top number, divide by that bottom number, and you're gonna get a decimal. Lila. 0.10. Now, we are wanting to find the percent of change. What percent would that be? Emma? 10%. So we're not leaving it as a decimal, because our whole objective is to find the percent of change. We always have to convert to that percentage. Now, for some goofy reason, Mr. Schultz says round to the nearest tenth, but we know when we work with percents, we're wanting to round to the nearest hundredth. So we're rounding to that nearest hundredth place. Now let's look at our snowfall. How would I set up my formula? What am I going to put on top? What am I going to put on bottom? What do you think, James?
48 on the top with subtracted by 32, and then you put 48 on the bottom.
So we have our big number minus our small number on top, and we're dividing it by the original number. That total snowfall last year was 48, so we're dividing it by 48. So 48 minus 32 is 16 over 48. Remembering that we divide the top number divided by the bottom number. What is 16 divided by 48? Rounding to the hundredth place. Bennett? 0.33. Am I done?
No.
Why not? Sophie? I need to put it as a percentage. What percent would that be, Sophie? 33%. Who can set up the problem for the Mountain Dew?
Get down to the nearest 100.
So does that answer your question? Who can tell me how to set up the Mountain Dew problem? What do you think? Aiden? Talk nice and loud because this fan is on right above me. Okay, so I love how you were looking for those numbers. But in 1998, a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew was 99 cents. In 2021, that same 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew is now $1.89. Okay, so what Aiden was thinking was 0.99 minus 1.89. Remember, though, that top numerator is finding the difference. If I put a small number minus a big number, I'm going into those negative numbers. Do not want negative numbers for this. So what should I do, Aiden? Yeah, I need to flip those around. I want to put the big number minus the small number. It doesn't matter which one came first in the problem. We always put big minus small to find the difference. No negatives. But now, what am I going to put as my denominator, Aiden? The original value. So which one's my original value? Which one's the original one in the problem? Now we care if it comes first in the problem. Yeah, that 0.99 was the first amount in the problem, so that's our original. So even though we had to flip it and put 1.89 to be that first number, it's not our original number. The original number was the 99 cents. Always put that original number on the bottom. So 1.89 minus 0.99 gives me 0.90 over that 0.99. What does that become? Lila? I couldn't hear you, the fans were above me. Go to the 100th place. Let me see what you got. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we are pausing here because I was not paying attention to the time. Lila, you're gonna re-look at that number and make sure you round correctly to that 100th place. It should have been 0.91. So we are pausing. And you are, my homeroom is lining up for gym. Mrs. White's is going for STEM.